Whoop. Whoa, hey, we're back as I'm mastering these cameras again. So let's go ahead and switch places and get back on the mat with our partner. So Robert, what's going on with you and your hands, your arms?
Well, this joint over here, for some reason, has been sore. Like I think there's something going on with this right here, the muscles that cross it. But I was just doing a little work on it myself. I don't even know. I didn't do anything. Like I just reached down a couple times, and it was like the way the joint stacked just felt like, hey, what's wrong with that? But I think I just have like a little bit of tightness in there.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't use my hands other than mouse stuff. I'm not like beating them up the way some therapists do.
Most therapists do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it needs to be. My hair looks wild. All right. So I'm just gonna kind of warm up his arm a little bit. I like to do a little snake rolling. That's what I call it. Like you're making Play-Doh snakes. Now I'm going to do a majority of things like Robert did, maybe adding a thing here and there that's kind of like my own spin on it. But I kind of like to do this so I can feel what is going on in his arm. I also talk quite a bit less than Robert, so I do apologize for the silence sometimes. So I just kind of want to warm up his hand before I go with a big compression. I'm also doing 2 at a time. You can always do 1 at a time if you want, but with our time, I'm just going to do 2 at a time. I like to support the wrist as I'm doing these pull. Another one to the thumb. And the grip I have on the back side, I'm gripping his thumb pad. I'm just pulling. I'm going to go ahead and get my body positioned to where I have some support. And this guy, I'm guessing, is 4? 1?
Yeah.
Hey there, 1. You're perfect.
Whatever you can use, just push buttons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 1. Gotcha.
You'll eventually find the one that's working.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels good. See, and that's the thing. I can work on it myself, but it doesn't feel the same as having somebody else do it.
Never does.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of press around his finger as I pull an eyelash out of my eyeball. Because that's what's happening right now. These big old things. I don't know where it is. Do you see it in there?
No. My up close vision isn't so hot. I need reading glasses.
Oh, we're good. It moved itself out. So I'm just pressing around his thumb, finding the tension.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
A little tender in there.
It like lights up down my thumb.
Oh, yeah.
You're in that. Can you feel like
oh, yeah, I feel it right in there.
Yeah. Oh. And again, I don't know what it did to it. It just started acting up.
And I kind of, you see, I just kind of, it's like almost a handshake. I'm just getting his fingers out of my way. Just so he feels comfortable. I'm not squishing his fingertips. And I'm able to come into the thumb as I press. Just kind of move the tissue around. So I'm going to come in with an elbow here, this meaty part of his thumb. And does this feel fine on your wrist?
Totally fine.
Cool. All right. Do you like it more towards the finger or more towards the middle of the hand?
I think for you, if you can go a little bit that way. There you go. Ooh, it started to light up.
So I'm going to move my hand so you can see where my thumb is at. Or where my elbow is at in his thumb. I'm going to do some movements. I'm going to flip to anatomy really quick so you can check out and see what it is that we are working on. There's your hand. So do be very careful as we're working. Some like micro movement. Feeling okay?
Mm-hmm. Very firm.
I can see the thumb is getting kind of pasty. More pasty than normal.
I'm not getting a lot of tan during COVID.
Robert hangs out inside a lot.
What do you mean Robert hides during COVID?
That's what he does. So I'm going to do another pass in here. I think a little bit more into this area. I feel like it should start a little higher. And then kind of, so what I'm doing is I'm kind of sinking into this chunky part of his thumb, and then I'm shearing this way. It wouldn't be a tie jam with Kristen without some sound effects. So you're welcome. And again, I'm gonna do some movements for the thumb. Does it feel like I'm still in a good spot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna slowly come out. Let's see. I'm gonna switch direction to see if that gives a different feel. Maybe I address kind of from a different direction. Let's see. There we go. So I'm gonna come back in. Probably is this guy. No. There we are. Does that feel like I'm in a different area? Does it feel like the same sort of compression?
The other one felt like it was more, and I'm going to use this term just to be clear. The other one felt like it was more proximal, meaning like in towards the center.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels a little bit more distal.
Okay.
In other words, like you're covering two good spots. It just feels like this one's out towards my fingertips a bit more. It's a bit more distal.
You can't really see it, but I am moving that thumb with my finger. Just as I come in slow, I leave and pull out a little slower as well. There's the eyelash that was in my eye. Get it out of here. Lash extensions are fun until they come out. So I'm gonna do a little pulling here. And the way I'm doing this underneath his hand is my fingers are pulling from the bottom as the fingers on the top are just dragging through. So on this arm are your extensors or your flexors, which are
more problematic.
Yeah.
I think probably my flexors. That's my quick guess. Not that I can't work on either.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, back." Get the mean thumb in there.
So I'm doing, he's just very tight along this side of his arm. So I don't know why I was being mean and just kind of pin and stretching this. Is that too much?
No. Intense, but good.
Your hairstylists always need this work. They need a good warming up, though. Sometimes I stack my weight. Now, Robert, I don't know why, I always come from this angle down, and you always go the opposite direction. Yeah. Does that make a big difference?
I don't think so, but go ahead and do what you think is comfortable, and I'll talk about it briefly.
Okay. Well, I bet you want to look at something other than my back, though. How about that?
The power of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So this is a weird kind of debate, because in traditional Thai massage circles, sometimes they want to bring stuff up from the feet and out the extremities and up out the top of the head. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you're draining the arms. I do the forearm, especially the extensors right here, in reverse, because the muscle becomes bigger and larger, and the angle is me slightly going uphill because the elbow is bigger than at the wrist.
Did you say your flexors are more sore than your extensors?
Yes.
I'll flip you over.
But I worked on your extensors. So it's like, no, both areas.
It was like tunnel vision. I'm like, yeah, that's what you want? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to work this.
Both areas need work. We can only do hands and arms at Thai Massage Jam about 1,000 times before we cover it. So in functional practice, I don't see any difference in going one direction or the other. And the more I looked at pain science, it was, well, how does the client feel? And they're like, oh, right there. The more I followed that, doing what was extremely effective for the client and easier on my body, and the client went, oh, right there. I got rave reviews, but it became less and less traditional. Oh, my arm feels like a big noodle.
Oh, good. I'm big into making snakes here. But I'm going to go ahead and give him he said that he wanted the work here, so I am going to give him what he asked for. I'm going to come in with the foot. Let me give it this camera. So what I do is I keep my heel on the mat. Make sure you're on steady ground. If you're on a mat and there's like a crack in the mat, make sure you stay on steady ground, because you can really injure someone if you're not stable. So with my heel on the mat, I'm basically just going to push on the gas. You might want to come and just kind of feel and see. But then you can always ask, Robert, is it more tender towards the wrist or towards the elbow?
Very different. Very different. All of it needs work, but go up back towards the elbow.
Okay.
Dense, thick area. There you go.
So then as I'm stepping here, right, I have my hands available. So I can come down and come back and give the hand a little bit more attention. You will notice as you're standing here that the hand will get pale. You can have your receiver do some flexing, some fist. Move the fist towards the forearm. Open the fingers wide. Wave. You can relax. And then I'm going to slowly come off this compression. You'll watch his hand. The blood will come rushing back. He'll feel warmth. There it goes. And you could barely see me moving until I started lifting my toes. But to the receiver, it's just warmth flooding their arm. So I'm going to do another pass. And sometimes I like to just give the hand. Once you get towards the wrist, the hand will automatically close. So I always like to, when I am there, kind of keep it open for them. It's not a big deal, but it can be kind of annoying as the receiver with your hand closing and you're just like, claw. You can always come up with your other arm, give a little compression, bicep. Is the pressure okay?
That's good.
My favorite thing about Thai is the fact that we can work multiple areas at one time. We're not just like arm, shoulder, you know, able to do both. I'm going to show you a little anatomy for the arm. Let's see, the biceps. Show you what we're working here. You can see once again this hand is getting very pale. So here in a second I'm going to release. Come to the delts. I'm going to press on the interior delt. Just kind of open it. Open the shoulder. Once again I'm going to slowly back off. You'll see the hand get flushed. There it goes. And you also see, there's my toe prints. There they are, my little toes. Kind of shake it off. Now, do you want me to work like this side's bicep? Do you want me to go to the other arm and give it a little love?
Go ahead, go to the other arm.
All right, let's switch arms so we can feel balanced.
In your case, your brachialis was bad enough that I wanted to just press on it again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Move my phone if you need to.
Oh, I will. Let's see here. There we go. Awesome. So we're going to come in. Kind of give a little pull. Warm this arm up a little bit. Show you this anatomy once more so you can kind of see what muscles here we're addressing. Sometimes I naturally just pull and slide. As long as you're not pulling your receiver's hair, it should feel pretty yummy. Most people are their tissue's pretty dense here through the thumb. I'm just pulling. For gamers, IT, massage therapists, you'll find could be really sensitive here. And at the same time, I'm pulling on the pinky. God, anytime you use a pen for a long time now, since our hands aren't really used to it, it'll get really tender on the side of your hand. Muscles we don't really use these days, writing and such. 2 fingers at a time, pulling. And then once I go to the middle finger, I like to support. Once again, I like my little snakes so I can address and kind of feel What's going on? This bicep here does feel pretty tight. I feel some tension all the way through the arm. Robert is constantly giving and not receiving near enough. I'll tell you that. Give these delts a little attention. Move my big head out of the way so you can see. So I'm just kind of warming the muscle before I come in and address it more directly. You can see the palm of Robert's hand is getting a little pale. How's the pressure in the bicep?
All good. I get lost when there are multiple points of contact. Like, I can't figure out what to focus on, so I do what I call falling in. Like, I just get lost.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to switch. I'm really big on, I don't know why, I've gotten really good at these little like turns to where it's less moving around. I guess because I'm always crawling around the mat. But move as you find is best for you. Here we are. So that's 4?
2.
That's 2?
No. 2.
2. Okay.
2 is one more on.
Okay. Love it. This one's 3. 2. 4. Okay. So I'm going to come in. I've got my leg underneath here. 2. You can see how my knee is bent. I've got his arm just like in the midsection of my thigh. And I'm using this flat part of my arm. I'm just kind of rolling. Could do a little bit of this first, kind of warm it up. I could feel it was a bit deep. I heard his noise, his sound effects. So I knew, hey, maybe a little nicer. Robert's your friend. So I'm supporting his wrist. I like to do these pin and stretch. So I'm pinning the muscle and stretching it. The muscle working here, getting down to the brachialis, working the bicep, working the tricep. And as I have this compression, I'm letting Robert just move. Does that pressure feel good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel that. You might grab the wrist and kind of bring it towards me and do a little movement this direction. Kind of help break anything up that's stuck. And once again, I'm using this flat part of the forearm, not using elbow, just the flat part of my forearm. Be aware of your body as you're doing this work. Don't hit yourself in the face with your client's hand. How's the tricep feeling?
I don't feel much in the tricep. That bicep stuff's pretty tender there.
Pretty tender?
Yeah. If you were using like an elbow in my tricep, it'd probably feel different.
Yeah.
The thigh is like broad enough where I feel pressure there, but I feel like the sharpness of the heel of your hand off in the bicep. Man, I don't get a lot of work through here.
No. Just remember, moving slow is the way it feels really good. If you were to have a tight muscle and you're being forced to move your arm really fast, it would be alarming. The muscle might protect. So just make sure that you move your receiver's arm at a good pace for them to receive. Rotating, open. Let to shorten and extend. Feels like a good spot. You can feel that the muscle is more dense in areas where there's some issues. Let's do some more traction. Being aware of the wrist with all the small bones. I like to pull through the thick part in the arm. You can even do a little hand stretch to say goodbye. Once again, moving slow, working where your receiver is at. And do a little movement. I only did this on one hand and we didn't even do this in the other trade, so feel free after the jam is over to kind of balance each other out. But we always enjoy doing these Thai jams. We're happy to have you guys, excited to have you here and just to continue learning and working together. And Robert's asleep.
Still here.
How's that arm feeling?
Much better. Oh, they feel
blood flowing.
Oh yeah, no, they feel much better.
Good.
Oh. How are we doing on time?
We are right on. We just did a 30-minute Traderooski.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I don't know what topic we're gonna do next time. I'll just kind of, visit with whoever's going to be here. Danielle and then Andrea have been out due to COVID-related stuff and family. So we're going to continue with like various groupings. Sometimes I'll be here, sometimes I won't. I really like getting them on camera so they can share, talk to people. If you have any specific requests, just let us know. You can write in the comments below here on YouTube. We're happy to get feedback on that. And again, at any time, you can go back through the playlist on the YouTube channel, find whatever you're looking for. Just go to, you know, the YouTube search engine, just type in time and size jam, and, you know, see what pulls up. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Thank you for working on me. My hands feel great.
Awesome.
And we'll see you guys again real soon. Appreciate all your feedback. Appreciate you working with us. And thank you again. You guys have a good night.